Welcome, everybody, back to the NLC. I get to rest my vocal cords a little bit after 3 monstrous games where everybody seems to die everywhere. I'm joined by Jamada and also Troublelink, and we have ourselves a very interesting matchup coming up between Nordavind and Singularity, right?
I am rubbing my hands here, Jamada. Which side did you take on the predictions?
My brain's telling me I should have taken SNG.
No. Which side did you take, Jamada?
I'm worried.
I'm double checking.
Yes.
I'm double checking. I actually put Nordavind down, which kind of surprises me.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm normally an SNG.
No,
I'm a member of the SNG. Well, well, I must have just put it. All right. Well, I'm officially changing it on broadcast.
I've converted you to a Chrisberg fan. I think this.
No. I'm part of the Fury fan club. This is very well known. We know how this works. All right. Like, look, I think Nordavind do have a very strong shot here. I think they've been playing better recently. I think SNG. A little bit up and down, even with some of their wins. Recent form does spell a bit. We saw a very convincing performance yesterday, but at the end of the day, SNG sort of expected to win that one, right? So we'll have to see whether we get that same level of performance out of them against a objectively stronger team in the league right now. And that's what I'm looking towards, because I think we've spoken a lot about SNG as sort of multifaceted, yes. And we saw that yesterday finally when we saw Draktar actually do something, which we haven't really been able to see Draktar do a lot because the focus has been mostly on Fury and Naughty. So let's see if we get that same performance again. And Nordavind, I think it should maybe be Chrisberg show, like Troublewink says, because that's how I feel like Nordavind, I think that's when they look the best.
Well, we are into picks and bans here. We've got ourselves some bans on the table, namely Kindred, Thresh, and Senna away by Nordavind, and the Jin's out Nocturne, and unsurprisingly Akali, who's been so busted, over for Singularity. First pick looking like the Karma.
I love this so much because it takes away a lot of the priority in the bot lane from the side of Singularity, taking away the Senna. Draktar and Prosper do like to play these sort of more laid-back compositions in the bot lane, as well as the Thresh takes away the pressure from having to deal with hyper carry in the hands of Draktar down in the bot lane alongside the Thresh. And I really love the Karma first pick right here, and I really hope it doesn't end up in the hands of Touch. I hope it's either Ericsson or Kerberos, because it's so incredibly strong versus the Rumble on the first item spike where it's Aurelius. It really negates the equalizer going down with the big shield and the attack, the movement speed. You can really easily evade or go through choke points where the equalizer has been laid. So I do like the first pick right here from the side of Nordavind. I'm wondering if maybe something like a set is gonna go down together with the Karma, because it's very easy to get set in with all the speed ups.
Well, the addition to the Rumble will be the Varus, which is notoriously strong at the minute. Of course, things like the Ezreal still up, which is a pretty potent duo with the Karma if they decide to go towards the support and make Trouble very sad. But still got to wait to see what they're going to lock in at this point. It is looking like that Ezreal.
Yeah, I think it just makes the most sense when you see the Rumble on the other side. You can effectively kind of neutralize a lot of this champion's threat just with Ezreal resistant. Now, you are going to be laning into Varus, which you already know. So it's, you're setting yourself up for a pretty hard to lane bottom lane, but with that in mind, I think Nordavind now have to secure a very strong solo lane. But they also haven't selected a jungler, so they're in a bit of a hole. So now that they have to lock in the Diana, SNG have a pretty good opportunity to not only pick away a strong solo laner, but then also ban away 2 more if they necessarily feel like it. And they can also pair up a support too, because you've got the Varus, but when you see the Karma, you might have to wait for it. So I'm expecting a solo laner here for SNG. Someone like Renekton wouldn't be too bad as the AD route, but SNG love this Jace, so I'm not too surprised to see it come out.
So here's the problem here. Champions like Renekton, champions like Set are open, and also you don't know where this Karma is going. So you could end up having a losing matchup, whether it's against Fury or Waze, or when they're gonna choose to go with the AD melees, like the Viegos, like the Renekton, as you mentioned as well. So there's like a lot of on the table for Team Singularity to ban out. Whilst I feel like with the Diana and the Ezreal Karma, they've sort of unlocked themselves from the side of Nordavind to do whatever in the world they want with the Karma specifically. So I'd like to see what ends up staying on the table. And of course, Team Singularity have first dibs on it if they choose to go for it.
They're going to get rid of the Wukong first Singularity, but as you said, Trouble, a lot they want to get rid of, a lot they want to try and do to ensure at least a decent matchup somewhere. But on the other side, it's just like, well, what can we do to make this Varus even more unsafe? The Thresh is already gone from the first pick and ban phase. They're going to get rid of the Tahm Kench. Leona, last ban for Singularity, interestingly, does leave that final ban for Nordavind to work with.
Yeah.
Renekton open, Jamada.
Yeah,
Renekton
I feel like...
set.
Maybe SNG want to pick up the Renekton for themselves and flex it between mid and top. That would be my thought process on the Leona ban. Other than that, they could also be setting up for a Nautilus pick on R4. It's one or the other, but I feel like you really want to hold on to your support just because Karma's there. I feel like if you end up with Jace Renekton as your solo lane as well, you've got the setup that you already have through the Varus and the Rumble, you'd be sitting pretty. But there you go. We're going to see that Nautilus on R4 just because, you know, it can be pretty potent at dealing with the Ezreal. Sure. You can't shift away from a depth charge, right, at the end of the day. So that is always going to be guaranteed lockdown for him.
All right, solo laners now to pick for Nordavind. Trouble, what are you wanting to see from them?
Honestly, I would love to see Seth Renekton here being locked in. I think they both do great. They're going to do great into their respective lanes. But I've also said that I would really like to see the Karma in a solo lane, and that's exactly what they're doing right here from Nordavind. I feel like Tats is going to be just roaming around the map together with Sharp onto the Diana and trying to wreak havoc on the map against the Singularity, whilst Chris is just going to chill on his Ezreal and wait for his time to shine later on. I just really want to see the set, man. You've already got the Karma in the hell, yeah.
Profit indeed, Trouble. There's the dive trio with an Ezreal and Karma to back them up. One final pick for Singularity. Jamada, any guesses?
Any guesses?
He's upset because Diana said do it.
I'm thinking you just have to lock in. I think it's going to be the Renekton. I think that's probably the route. You want a strong frontliner with some of the picks you have here. And there you go, sort of along the same vein if that Volibear does get locked in. I think Wazor is one of the few players in the league that's run this Volibear top.
Yeah.
He's done it at least once, and I think he is the only player, if memory serves me right. So we're going to see that match up. I imagine, you know, he'd want to run it into the set, but I think we're going to see Kerberos probably actually on this Karma, though. We could see a last.
I wonder, is that going to be an Ignite teleport?
Is that Rumble top?
Are they just swapping it around, or is this actually Rumble top?
Well.
Okay, I was about to say, it would be very...
For a second there.
Yeah, you baited me a little...
Big question. Yeah. Is Kerberos going to run Ignite teleport Karma?
No.
Big question.
He won't.
He's going to, like, just because I want it to be true. There's been some exciting games that would be a killer way to add some more in.
Yeah, no, there is one thing, though, I'll say for Nordavind. I think their ways into fights are really telegraphed outside of flanks. So I think that if SNG can sort of keep their wits about them, make sure they're keeping vision control around areas that they want to set up around, because they are the team with this Jace and the Varus, it's going to be difficult for Nordavind to find consistent ways in. And I think there's a lot of non-committal engage tools available to SNG as well, which can be a bit of a pain in the backside for Nordavind to deal with. So I think if we start to see SNG pull ahead in the early game with this Varus and Jace, it's going to get really difficult for Nordavind to actually have reasonable responses until they hit some iron breakpoints.
Trouble, final thoughts?
I just kind of like the Nordavind composition in general because I feel like Karma enables those melees to get into the backline. If you remember what Emtus said in his interview as well, he was like, the second this Karma shield went up, they were just literally running me down. And Jace, Varus, and Rumble are so volatile to being run down. So I do still think that Nordavind have the harder to execute composition, but they also have an easy way in with the Karma.
Well, that's it from us. Time to hand it over to Hipbrain and Orcs to see it on the Rift.
Thank you very much as we're getting ready to go into game number 4. Now, this game's actually fairly important for both of these teams. They are currently 7-3 each in the standings. They're on obviously different groups because it is still crossplay. So, you know, head-to-heads in the group won't be affected, but like finding a kind of like a quote-unquote free win outside of your group, really important here, and you can kind of knock the other team down a peg. So, you know, it's not just about, you know, getting yourself the win. It's about making the statement and also pushing yourself a little bit further up in your group. Orcs, I'm looking at these team comps, you know, there's some non-committal engage, which was hit on from the side of Singularity, but Nordavind, it's more committal, but when it lands, it lands. We've seen this Diana set combo just pop teams.
Yeah, and I think the mid-jungle combination is really the shining light for Nordavind. If they can sort of find pressure off that when it comes to those level 6 points, they'll be in a great spot. The problem is pre-6, you're going to get a lot more value from a Jace in terms of lane priority compared to a set. And we've seen time and time again, Rumble has more of an impact pre-6 than the Diana does. And one of the things I do kind of have concerns about is when I was thinking about this matchup, Nordavind against Singularity, one of my concerns was top lane. I think Kerberos has been absolutely on fire in the top lane. Wazor has been a little bit underwhelming, honestly, for Singularity. I think he's been their weakest performer. A lot of mistakes. And I thought that is my pain point for Singularity. If Kerberos picks something like the Wukong, if he's applying that pressure, looking for solo kills, but Karma into Volibear, I think Singularity are fine with that. And then they're going to have priority mid. They've got a stronger early jungle. They're going to have priority bot lane, and their mid game's really strong. So I think Singularity can lean into that, and they should hit the ground running and keep the momentum going. That being said, any mistakes from Singularity and Nordavind have a comp that will punish that and will excel with those really strong engages and that close range skirmishing power.
It is just a snap of the fingers. One slight overstep and the Moonfall on top of your team can completely turn the team around. And it is interesting that Curb has kind of been put on a more uninteractive laner in the Karma, because I often think of him as...
I mean, you say that, Jake. He'll be interacting with Waze a lot. It just won't be much in the resist.
Yeah. But, like, you know, there's like Waze would have to misplay this pretty badly to get killed by Kerberos. He's just going to be getting harassed a lot in lane, right? So it's one of those things that when I think of Kerber, I think of him as he's always, to me, being someone who likes to scrap, likes to skirmish. And this time around, on that Karma, not really got quite that same level of impact. He's going to be, you know, more of a facilitator for his team, more of a support role.
Yeah.
So I feel like top lane may be a little bit quiet, other than Wazel just having the worst time of his life.
Yeah, he's got Grasp as well, which I don't see proccing that too much. So kind of can just write top lane off and expect to see no surprise there that Nulty is passing towards the bot side of the map, whereas Sharp is doing the opposite, wanting to play around his priority. And actually, we're talking about the Jace having that range advantage, being able to pressure the set, but Ericsson actually doing a bit of bullying of his own, getting up close to Fury.
Yeah, but to get in range of that face breaker. By the way, Kerberos also has Grasp, so have fun, Wazel.
Yeah,
it's going to be that little bit more annoying.
When you play the Karma top, you can go like a bit more of a tankier build. You go Grasp, you can build some HP early, and essentially it just means that you're just really hard to threaten. Karma survivability is actually pretty high, and I think Wazel and Ulti, you know, if they start a gank, Kerberos can probably buy enough time for someone else to show up. So it just really makes Kerberos an unappealing option who's permanently going to be shoving, permanently going to be harassing. So it's a solid lane matchup by all means, but not really one that's like a game-winning lane matchup. It just kind of gives, you know, a lot of freedom to Sharp to, you know, go for this top side scuttle.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Nulty recognizing that, heading over to his bot side scuttle. So Scuttle's getting traded off across the board here. There's no camps for Nulty to steal away. He may be looking for something mid lane. He's bringing Prospere with him. Although Sharp is also in the area. Still numbers advantage over to Nordavind. And looks like the gank is probably going to happen, actually. Both Sharp and Nulty cancelling their recalls. Prospere been spotted out by Touch, though. Really heads up play there from Nordavind not to get their mid lane punished early.
Yeah, and I mean, Nordavind are fine with this situation because if there's no fight, they can just keep scaling up. They can aim towards that level 6 point. A lot of power with their mid-jungle 2v2 when they hit that mark. So avoiding skirmish is now definitely favorable for them. And they can just continue to play the game out in this way.
Well, we've had a bunch of fiestas today, and we're starting this game on a little bit more of a tame note. Obviously, these teams need to find these wins. They are trying to keep up pace with the academy teams. They are trying to prove themselves as a playoff-worthy team, and both of the teams have definitely shown that. Kerberos and Wazel just going for a light trade, and Kerb just turns it back around.
There's also the sort of revenge angle for Singularity against Nordavind. We don't see these teams play very often. Like in Spring's play, it was kind of the same story as the academy teams that were in the opposite group. And then we did see them play in playoffs. It was Nordavind who came out ahead and was able to get that third place spot. So Singularity got something to prove here. Because again, these are the same rosters as we had in spring. These two completely unchanged. So a little bit of history between them. I'm sure Singularity would love to take this one.
Well, for now, it does look like the resets are coming in on the bottom side. There is a dragon up, and Sharp's actually in the jungle. He has to be very, very careful. As has got a blast cone to get over the wall. The pings are going down, and Prospere's there. Hook comes down. He's going to look to jump on the Touch. Touch forces the flash out from Dragdar. The flanks are coming in. Touch is going low. Chrisberg trying to put the damage off as First Blood has been picked up by Dragdar. Teleport's coming in from Wazor, and it's a double kill as Ericsson getting jumped onto by Fury. Ericsson should be able to survive this onslaught, but that was not the start Nordavind needed.
Yeah, not sure the teleport from Wazel was needed, but I guess Singularity really wanted to secure that play, guarantee that they'd have that advantage. And essentially, in that scenario, we saw Singularity able to respond harder and able to use their early skirmishing power as an advantage. We talked a lot about Sharp hitting that level 6 point, the power of the Diana ultimate. Still level 5 when that fight happened.
Flash comes out, they're slamming him down. Here comes Sharp. They're able to pick up the kill. It was actually taken away by Touch with his stun there. So Fury, you know, at least giving the kill over to the support.
Yeah. And, you know, Prospect just had a watch. And it's kind of been, honestly, Ericsson have a really good early game so far in this one. Threatening the Jace pretty consistently. And we will get a replay of that fight. So yeah, Sharp is a little bit out of position. You see Touch move over to try and assist, but Singularity have members enforced again. You look at this close range fight where Diana would love to have the ultimate, but it's not available, not able to offer that strength. And it's just a pretty clean win overall for Singularity there. And that is giving an item advantage over the Dragdar. 2 kills in his pocket. Definitely won't be complained about.
Yeah, now Nolte has hit 6. Sharp has just hit 6 as well during the end of that replay. So now got that Moonfall available. I do worry that, you know, are Nordavind actually going to be able to get in range to get these kind of big AoE ultimates off onto Singularity? Because you're playing into a Jace, you're playing into a Varus. There's so much poke. And then you've got to get through the CC. You've got to get through, you know, the volley there. It's so hard to actually get onto the key targets.
I think the thing I always say, set up flanked. Look for those flank angles. Look for the ways to find an approach that isn't running straight on. Because, yeah, if you run straight on... speaking of running straight on...
Fury getting jumped onto. Equalizes there. Sharp puts the shield up. Nolte looking for a harpoon onto Sharp. Will just about miss it out.
But you can see Nordavind, now they've hit that level 6 point, they are applying pressure in this mid-jungle 2v2 and doing a pretty good job of it. It's kind of Singularity playing defense to try and keep Fury safe. And we saw a great play from Fury so far in the NLC summer. But there's also been a really questionable game earlier this week where he was kind of the sore point, him and Nolte.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. Though Curve might be looking for it. Underneath the tower he goes, looks for the Q. The flash comes out from Wazor. Not going to get hit by that one. I'm not even sure
that would actually kill him, you know. No actually items picked up by Kerr, but I guess you play it safe. You don't want to die there. But on the other side, we're seeing similar amounts of pressure being offered by Singularity's bot lane. Crispig just getting chunked out, and this is kind of one of the sore points for this bot lane 2v2. Ezreal doesn't really offer too much, and Rel, if she's not engaging, is kind of just sitting there on the horse.
I mean, very literal description of what she does. Yeah, I guess.
I don't mince my words, Jig.
You know, I don't know Rel's lore. What is the deal with the horse?
So she controls metal. Imagine if Magneto, right, wanted to like make metal parts form like a fake horse and she rode it. Essentially is kind of what the vibe I get, you know?
She's Magneto. Okay, cool.
Pretty much. He's just way to simplify it.
If X-Men were League of Legends characters, who would they be?
I mean, I feel there's quite a few obvious ones, but, you know, I'm drawing a blank.
I feel like Warwick is
Wolverine.
Wolverine, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, then maybe you could have No, don't worry. I'm
Professor X could be Zillion.
Yeah, I like that one. Who'd be Cyclops? That's a hard one. Anyway, we're getting way too distracted by such...
We're thinking too much about it. Like, we're just trying to, but it's really...
I can't think, I'm trying to think who Cyclops would be.
I don't know, man. Look, there's probably people who are better informed who can make these comparisons. I think we should stick to what we're...
And those people are probably not getting paid to talk about a game. Looks like Prospect's looking for the hook. Is going to miss it onto Touch. We're now 10 minutes into the game. The gold lead is 1,000 as...
That's some fishing.
That was a fish.
But Crispig able to dodge away, but you can see they're applying the pressure and they know Crispig's flashless. If something connects, he's dead. Not quite confident enough to commit with just a flash ult from Prosper.
Yeah, Crispig now has the E available. There it goes. Now on a 22-second cooldown. Has to be careful. Prosper is constantly looking to try and find that opportunity.
But they do see that some pressure's coming down here, so They know not to push any further, but it does allow some coverage for Crispig to actually farm. Ooh. This game been pretty slow so far. Kind of been just chilled out one. Not too much pressure coming in from either side, ultimately. Oh.
Man, we had so many fiestas at the beginning of the game, and we're now 11 minutes in with 3 kills. It's like we've just gone back to... I hate poke comps. I hate poke comps so much. Does look like they're looking to try and find an opportunity, but touch dodging
Come on,
away on the
Crosshair,
hook.
man. Hit one of those, please.
You should have heard... it was the last game with Trouble and the chains. I've never heard someone in so much pain in my life from Silas Chains. Oh.
I mean...
Oh.
Oh, Shirley just landed.
Surely he can hit it. He hits it finally. Chains comes out to follow up as well. And Touch will find the kill.
I mean, this is honestly just such a disturbing lane combo. It's like, you land a CC, Varus presses W, presses Q, and they just die. Like, the damage is so disturbing. And now Ezreal gets stoned away. They get more plates. You can see the other side. The Herald has been picked up by Sharp, so they'll be able to get maybe the tower here, actually. But in terms of who is getting the resources, you're probably pretty happy with their Sharp getting it. Kairos maybe not so much, but Dragdor definitely getting pretty fed of this bot lane scenario. When first tower taken, Dragon answered back, and it is, Jake, an Infernal Soul.
Ooh,
I can't
baby.
really think of champions that sync better with it than like Jace, Varus, Rumble.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to be happy if your Diana gets it. There's so many champions who are going to make use of it. And Singularity looking to come in on a collapse. The flash comes in from Prospect. Into the chain, and Kerberos is cooked. As he looks to jump away, has a fair amount of shielding. Slows Fury down. Not going to be willing to give that one over, as Wazel will get them all off and secure the kill.
Able to pick up that kill. Kerberos pretty farmed up, but still, you land that CC enemy is going to go down. Now, Nordavind using that time to get a plate mid, potentially apply some pressure bot, but for now, we're still seeing that massive lead between AD carries now. It's a 30 CS lead, 2-0-1 on Dragdar. I don't think they can go for the tower now. You can see Nordavind moving back down to cover. Pretty defensive on that bot lane. Very quickly after resetting, actually. But we're now going to see Dragdar resetting, and he is going to have so much gold to spend. Yeah, I mean, 2,300 in pocket right now.
I want to actually quickly hark back to our previous conversation while we're in a bit of a lull, because I just got a message from Penguin from the LPL. He's just listing off X-Men and League characters to me. And the one I completely didn't think of was Cyclops is Vel'Koz and Jana is Storm.
Yeah, I mean, Jana and Storm makes it, yeah.
Penguin, you're a smarter man than me. That is still fairly open-ended on how smart you are, though. Because
I think Penguin's pretty smart, but I do agree, Jake, that you're kind of lower on the spectrum in terms of smarts, let's say. I feel like I don't have this dynamic with any other caster. I can't just call another caster dumb on broadcast, but, you know, we make it work, Jake.
Only one you can get away with it on, buddy.
Yeah. They come back to haunt me one day.
Too. It's fine. 14 minutes on the clock, and Kerberos is going to pick up this Rift Arrow. This will be the second one for Nordavind. We'll see if there's going to be any level of contest coming in, because Wazel's there. Nolty's also about, but Nolty going to complete his recall, so not interested in contesting this. They did know what was going on, but not feeling it.
Oh, we've kind of seen this divide where Nordavind very focused around that top side, using that priority from the Karma, and it's allowed Sharp to pick up, you know, the second Herald here. But the bot side is kind of just being decimated by Singularity's bot lane. Fury starting to pump out a ton of damage. Nolty pretty far ahead in farm, so overall, Singularity getting the big advantage out of this, but we did say Nordavind, if they find a window to punish, they definitely can execute on that. So realistically, if Singularity want to win this game, they need to keep things clean. They can't get baited into fights where they're getting engaged on.
You can see the individual gold leads on your screen right now. It's pretty marginal in the mid lane, but that is a 2,000 gold deficit. Bot side, that is the entire gold lead, pretty much.
And the thing is, one thing we often talk about with Ezreal is Ezreal spikes really hard in 2 items, you know? And so the problem is against the Varus also spikes around that point. You know, if you're behind in gold on Ezreal, when you hit that 2-item spike, you're still going to be really relevant. But Varus, he's up in gold, he's closing on that 2-item spike, he's going to do so much damage. And actually, he outranges you as well, which is rare as an Ezreal.
Ooh, forces the flash out from Curb as he lobs the chains towards him. Dragon not up for a while, so Curb now just not going to have that flash for really much as this poke is starting to get very obnoxious.
Yeah, it's getting pretty annoying right now. And really, it's like the only answer is to engage. It's like if you sit there and posture, you're just going to get poked down. Now, there is time before the Dragon to reset, but that also gives time for Dragdar's ult to sort of come off cooldown. So both teams likely be ready for this. And I think you have to contest this at Nordavind. It's unfortunate you're not on the map sooner, but the main thing I'm looking at is how they're going to engage, find the flank angles, don't come in one direction, because a big thing to note is Dragdar no flash, and Crossfire, he's not on the Thresh, he's not on the Tom Kench. He's not going to have as much safety for his AD carry here.
Whoa.
I mean, I guess he can just stand like 3 screens away and just fire at you with arrows, so who really cares about how safe you are?
And Touch just walks back in, instantly eats an arrow, but Riftail's going to get summoned. This is going to be pretty much instant mid lane priority over to the side of Nordavind. They're going to get the charge out, not going to be able to cancel this. That turret's going low, not down though, but going low. So they are looking for an opportunity to find a fight. The hook lands onto Touch. Fury gets a lot of poke off onto him. Touch has to launch away to safety. Ericsson slams into the middle of everyone. Looks for the face breaker. Equalizes on, and now just looking for the turnaround. The moonfall's here. Here comes Curb with the shielding. Ericsson's going to lose his life, however. It's a 1-for-1 so far. Prospect finds the hook, and Kerberos is toasted. Wazor continues to chase as the snipe from Fury will land onto Sharp. Chrisberg being chased, and Touch trying to find the shielding, trying to find the opportunity to save the day, but it's a little bit too little. It's a little bit too late. And that is the ace over to the side of Singularity.
And Fury is back. Heard me trash talking him. He is on fire in this team fight. You actually see a bit of a big mistake from Dragdar. You see Ericsson flying with the ult and able to take him down, but honestly, just some excellent Jace play and Singularity understanding exactly how to deal with Nordavind in these team fights.
I mean, when we get the replay, you'll see what happened was Ericsson went in, got everybody clustered together, but Sharp wasn't there to get the moonfall off. He wasn't in range, and that's the crucial thing that made this fight go so well for Singularity.
Yeah, Process Disruption actually doing a lot, and they're completely out of sync. You see Sharp trying to get in, doesn't quite connect, and then Fury is still that backline carry. And the thing is, in this extended fight, you've already had Ericsson down, Sharp is low on HP, and Chrisberg is just pretty much useless at this point. He's so underfed. It allows Fury just to start cleaning up the fight. Wazor, despite being bullied in lane, is strong enough to chase down the bot lane of Nordavind. And a pretty convincing win coming out from Singularity. Now 3k gold up and 3 dragons in pocket. This might well be an early soul. And again, that Infernal, I struggle to think of a better comp to sync with that dragon.
Yeah, I feel like at that point, the poke just becomes so obnoxious, but they can't do anything. It's the chains land by Dragdar, the flash away from the True Shot Barrage. Chrisberg, you ain't going to be able to hit the Q of the minions there. And that is an easy solo kill for Dragdar. Now Kerberos, the depth charge is popped, the hook is on, and he is obliterated. Nolty, they're looking for the jump onto him, pulls him in with the moonfall. They've got the stun to follow up as he lays down the equalizer. Ericsson making his way over. Here comes Wazor, face breaker in. As Sharp is getting chased onto. Nolty will lose his life, and Sharp has to go golden. Instantly slammed down by the Stormbringer. Sharp with nowhere to go. To the sky as Fury takes, and he's able to kill the kill. Now they're cut off. No blast cone. Nowhere to go. Where can Nordavind go? It's to the grave screen. As Fury will chase them down. One more Q to the face to bop them back. And it is all been said and done. Ericsson unable to do much here as Dragdar will mop the fight up. And Singularity are just obliterating Nordavind right now.
Just winning across the map. They get the positive play mid. They get the set up top lane. And then when Nordavind try to respond, they react to the TP. Really nothing Kirb can do in this situation. Fury has so much damage, but on this side, Wazor's killing the wave. Yes, Nolty does end up going down, but with this stopwatch, with the equalizer, buys so much time and allows this TP to come in and for the rest of the team to collapse. The fact this wasn't a quick kill and get out means Singularity is able to come in force, and Nordavind, they just are not strong enough to fight up against this mid-game spiking composition from Singularity. Absolute decimation. And it's this Jason Varus doing so much damage.
It's just nowhere for them to go. They have no options left.
Nowhere, Jake. Emphasis on that. Nowhere for them to go.
Chrisberg almost getting hurt there by the hook. 20 minutes on the clock, and this is Singularity, they've just, honestly, from here, I just feel like it's going to have to be a pretty monumental throw for them to start to pull this game away from them once again.
If there is a comp you're going to throw against, Nordavind have let's say a good comp to capitalize on the enemy team throwing, you know?
Yes. They have a
one good
combo.
Ericsson Sharp combo, maybe with a bit of a Magnet Storm on top, potentially could be enough for them to take this game. But again, it's hard. You're behind. And the thing is, you don't have time to wait for Singularity to throw. You have a minute 40 on that Infernal Soul, and you best be hoping that they throw there, because otherwise things get extremely difficult. Yeah. There's already so much. I mean, look at the goal difference. 2,000 goal lead in mid, 3,000 goal lead between AD carries, and even the top side of the map, where Nordavind was playing around, about even, you know. Waze was actually even marginally ahead. So it's these carries. It's Fury and Dragdar. These lethality, mid-game spiking carries are absolutely on fire right now. And it's the poke. And if you give them an Infernal Soul, I honestly think that you just go and hide on your phone, because there's nowhere that's going to be safe.
That's when you slash FF, to be honest. It's going to be rough, as Dragdar's almost finished up his Muramana as well, and that's a massive spike for this Varus.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a marginally strong amount of damage being added on. You see the stopwatch also being picked up by Dragdar, which I do respect when you're coming into these teamfight scenarios, the high impact ones, the game deciders, especially when you're ahead and you have that luxury. Opting into those is important. Now, Dragdar's flash is coming up soon. I think it might be a little bit late for the Dragon Spawn, but should come up for the fight. And really, it's on Nordavind. They don't have the vision set up, really, to... They don't have anything behind Singularity, and they need an engage, and they need it quick, because as you're seeing, they'll just get poked down.
The poke is just way too much. As the True Shot Barrage barely chips away at Dragdar's health.
I mean, it's a decent amount of damage, but it's also a long cooldown, and then, yeah, that's what you get in return. So I think I know who my money's on for the poke war.
Well, looking like they're going for the fight. Ericsson's stride breakers forward, slowed down by the harpoon. And Nordavind, I mean, one more arrow from touch, and there's just physically no way he can fight.
And Singularity can just play for time. Oh, engage
spinning in into the chains. There's the equalizer. They're zoned out. Ericsson is popped. Trying to find a kill onto the bear. But ways away over, jump away. 3-man Moonfall comes out, but it's a little bit too little. It's a little bit too late. This is the power of these poke comps. They're too low before the fight even starts, and Chris Berg can only trade for one kill. Another ace for Singularity. And this is what I call the bad ninja movie fighting. You just go in one at a time. It was such a doomed fight.
Yeah, and the problem is, we talked about the engage potential, but you need to find a flank. There's so many tools from Singularity, the equalizer, the Riptide, the Chains of Corruption, that if you throw those down, it will completely disrupt your front line's engage. And with that win, Singularity able to pick up the Infernal Soul and the Baron, and that poke just got even more severe.
Feels like Nordavind have pretty much run out of options at this point. Baron and Soul onto the side of Singularity. They're just going to get heavily poked at as we just, again, so nice ult by Sharp, but who's following him up?
It's a decent re-engage, but you've already lost the set in this situation. The Chains of Corruption completely caught him out. And again, you're engaging from one direction. So you're taking so much damage. You have to go to the front line, which isn't ideal. And you're not syncing up your engage. We said this Set Diana combo is so powerful. We haven't seen it yet. We've seen Set, we've seen Diana. We haven't seen them together. Maybe they're on a break or something, I don't know, but it's just not working to define Singularity. And these carries, you're looking at 718 on Fury, 716 on Dragdar. Look at the items, 3 on both of them, and a Serpent's Fang on Dragdar. Great against Karma now. They're looking for ways up, but he should just ult out. It's actually not up yet.
And he's going low, gets the stride breaker. Here comes Sharp. Able to find him a kill onto the Diana, and that is a much needed kill, but the cost is going to be this inhibitor tower mid, and probably the inhibitors. They're too slow on the reset.
It's still the right play, though. You go for that pick, and then you're now in a 4v5, so you can go back to base and defend. So it still makes sense completely, because if you just sit there and defend, you're going to get poked away, you're gonna lose. But now at least Singularity probably going to feel a little bit tentative about taking a team fight. Wazo, unfortunately, didn't have his ult back up again. To jump over the wall, but just have TP. So essentially, Singularity just throw some poke down, wait for the TP. But this is Nordavind's window if they're going to take it.
They need to make it work. His curve already half health. There it is. I hate poke comps.
You know, I think
How do you
Nordavind
play
do
into that?
as well. I think Nordavind they poke comms right now. And this range differential, your only answer is to engage. And when you're this far behind, when you're not able to find flanks, there's just too many tools to stop your engage from working. Ow.
Yeah, poke after poke. Ow is the word to describe this. Yeah. They can't find the flanks. They're just covered it so well, and opportunities are just evaporating here. Sharp chunks down.
my
Chrisberg in
lord.
touch, all hit by the shot blast. Damage is too much, and that is going to be the end of days. Curb taken out by Dragdar. As here comes Wazel. It's so nutty how much damage they're doing here. And it's just, they're out of options. I don't think Nordavind can win. They just get poked too much. Has to be one hell of a wombo combo, but there you go. Touch. Eats a Q, and he's lost a third of his health.
People, they
Trying to find the opportunity, gets a moonfall only onto one. Here comes the slam from Ericsson, but he's already low. The shield is on. The True Shot Barrage will find a single kill for the side of Nordavind as they trade out two of their own. The Nexus is open, and this is going to be the game for Singularity. Dragdar with the outplay. Kerberos, nothing he's going to be able to do. The Nexus will fall. As the delayed ace will come in, Singularity take the game, 27 minutes on the clock.
And that was a lot more one-sided than we factored for. Personally, I see some holes in Nordavind's composition. The bot lane, a complete sore point, and the mid-jungle strength took a bit too long to shine. I also think the fact that I have seen Curb as a player who's constantly challenging, constantly solo killing. We've seen so much great, Wukong play. I feel like having him on a champion like that, where he can have more agency, would have been ideal because he was so subdued this game. He was just a priority point for Sharp, and I don't think that's playing to their strengths. Chrisberg never got to do anything because his lane was so doomed. And I think, we saw Singularity come in with those draft advantages. They capitalized on it, and then in the team fights, they played it well, and Nordavind's engages just went in sync.
So a couple of things for me was you pick the Karma, you have an Ezreal, just put the Karma in bot lane with the Ezreal because it's such a potent bot lane, but instead they were like, Karma's good, great top, and they denied Kerberos the ability to kind of, do what he does best, like you said.
The good thing with that is that you'd be able to contest priority more, but it's also like you're so vulnerable because the Karma is the kill target against that lane. Like when it's the Varus Nord at 6, she's just dead. I feel like it's just there were holes. I'm sure the analyst desk will be able to break it down more and talk about the issues because it wasn't just draft. There was a lot of in-game problems as well. And Singularity, though, looking crisp.
Singularity looking absolutely amazing. That was the most one-sided game of the day. Anyway, we still got 2 more games to go, so it's time for us to throw to a break. When we're back at the analyst desk to talk a little bit more about that game.